Wait, people, it's throwing me off for some. There we go. Hello, hello, hello. You guys, tonight we are going to be talking about Uber Hood, making you understand what that is. Doordash stealing tips again. Been talking about this, talking about this, talking about this, and we have WAYMO fail, and yeah, it's kind of better than normal because it again proves something major. And in fact, it's almost a double header topic right on the other side. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Thursday Night Live. Don't really know. Like I said, it's gonna be a mishmash of things, but it's not roundtable. It's not the conversation, but it's kind of like that, and it will be for the next few weeks because I am joined by my friend and my guest tonight. Is it? Yeah, okay. I just want to C-O Ride. I had it C-O-L-O. C-O Ride Guy. That's how you find him on platforms. He's part of the, if you had noticed the thumbnail before, it did have the drivers co-op. That's because he is the president of the board of the drivers co-op here in Colorado. And, but he's also trying to build his own brand, and we'll be talking about this a little bit. But welcome, Shawn. If you're not familiar with Shawn yet, you will be here shortly. So,
Steve, thanks again for having me on. I appreciate it, man. I look forward to the discussion tonight and hearing what everybody else has to say too.
Yeah, and that's, while Shawn and I were backstage, we were talking about like this year so far, and I already, I see some. Wait, why is the stream not coming through here? Okay, I'll watch it in there. For some reason, guys, StreamYard isn't showing me. Oh, there it is. It just caught up. Hey, Bubba Sue. Hey, Traveler. Hey, Meridian. How you guys doing? So it's 32 degrees in Daytona Beach tonight. Damn. I mean, we deal with that all. That's like daytime to Shawn and I. So like, but at the same time, I understand it's Florida. Yeah, we got some of these topics. Before we jump into them, anybody want to put out there at all, like, how's the year going for you? Because we were just kind of chatting backstage a little bit right before we went on. And, I was telling Shawn how normally this is the time of year when I work half of the amount of hours because I know how slow. It's not like, oh, I don't want to. I mean, I probably don't, but but I would. But I know I just know we always say market to market. People refer to a summer slowdown. I tell them there's markets that are only summer. But January is pretty hit for most things. So I've just gotten used to it after, since 2014. I've just gotten used to the fact that this is a slow month. You can work it, but even if I can't afford a vacation, which is always, I can take a staycation and like let myself have a little downtime and work half the amount. But I haven't been doing that with Max in college. I've been working extra hard, and actually, it's been working. It's not like, whoa, dude, you all should be on the apps right now. I'm crushing it. But I'm surprised that it's going this well. And Shawn was saying kind of the same thing. He's kind of, he's not too bad so far this year. I know some of you aren't, might have different stories. I already knew about Sue's, and she's telling me this. Sue is in Jersey, and I know this. She's been having,
right.
she has great luck on the apps. She knows how to work.
So it looks like
she's a multi-apper.
Yeah. Real quick, Sue, and thanks again for welcoming me back. And then, hey, Lynn, and looks like we've got some comments down in the chat already about that, and they're not seeing the same thing we are.
Well, here, Meridian, what's Meridian saying here? That business is okay, average. And I know from his comments on other videos of mine, like his market had been, like he like all of us, he was getting upset there at the end of last year. All of us were. So if he's saying okay, from what I know of him, that it's a lot better than it was.
Right. So it's moving up for him.
Yeah. So like here's Brian. He's in Pittsburgh, basically just outside of it. He's saying, I'm surprised at the catering volume I've seen so far this year. I'm going to say the same thing. And then I know that you're talking about Expedite, Brian. And then Sue over here we were even chatting about it, and Expedite isn't showing her anything it normally does. So it really, we're always dealing with these different markets. But I could never say before that, wow, dude, January is comparable to December.
Right.
Normally December is a great month.
All the time.
Yeah. Well, Traveler's kind of, in my opinion, he still works these apps, and he does primarily Amazon. He's a friend, so I know him, and he's in upstate New York, but he's also kind of retired-ish. I feel like I want to, don't take offense to it, but you're like on-off retired traveler. You're like, he's a traveler. Sometimes he just gets in his car and drives around the whole country.
Right.
Like, has done it a few times. So like, great. But yeah, different answers. Again, we got we got Brian saying good catering. Travelers laughing. We got, bad. And it's weird too, because Len and Sue aren't too far from each other either. They're both there on the East Coast right there.
Right.
But anyway, we're going to jump into this stuff here tonight because this is great. Had you heard of Hood Uber?
I had not actually until that incident. I don't know if anybody else on here's heard of Hood Uber, but
yeah, that's
kind of quite apropos.
It's kind of insanity to me because what they're doing is the wrong way to do it. Like, dude, don't go to Facebook to do it. Get on Uber and just steal their clients.
Poach the rides from there. Everybody.
Absolutely, dude.
I'm
not
advocating.
I am.
I'm not advocating it, but everybody's done it that I know.
I am advocating it because listen, Mike Drop Barbecue, Jeff, we all know Jeff. He's more on TikTok these days, but he's still over here. But Jeff and I have done things together. Jeff, on almost every live stream that he discusses rideshare, I don't know if they're the last one I saw where he didn't say, take their customers. If you like the person, you get along with them, give them a card, show them a QR code, tell them you'll do it for half the price, whatever. Get your customers. So,
or if you're in Colorado, I'm gonna do a little plug here real quick.
Yeah, join
the Drivers Co-op Colorado and get paid more and still have all the insurance coverage and everything for it. And realistically, not take away from this conversation because we do need to talk about Hood Uber a little more, but that's really one of our goals is to be able to provide that kind of service. But anyway, back to our regularly scheduled program with Hood Uber because man, we got to talk about this.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up though, because I was going to hit on it in a little bit here, and then we'll jump back. But I want to tell you that one of my challenges is to get onboarded to the rideshare co-op if it can happen fast enough by like early next week, and be able to have said I've done a ride or two before next Thursday. I know that's a very short window to make all that happen.
It's an ambitious window. We'll see what happens.
Does it take a while to get onboarded?
I guess the answer is it depends. It shouldn't take you a long time to get onboarded. Individually. But anyway, we can talk more offline about that. But it shouldn't take you, more than a couple days to get onboarded if you have all your ducks in a row. Usually what we're seeing is the delays are usually from the users end. They're like, oh crap, I didn't realize I had to have a dash camera. I mean, and all you got to do is take a picture of your dash camera in your car to submit, evidence you have a dash cam. So little things like that usually end up holding up the process. There is kind of some things that we're trying to get some improvements on with the developer in regard to, there's a weird way to get to the link with your background check and then to submit that. So those two things right there are areas that those things are some areas of improvement that we've already identified, but we're not working fast enough for me. But this is it's a growing child. We got to remember it can't run yet.
Yeah, no, I get it. I actually didn't even know that from our other talks about the dash cam. I love that. Just take a picture of it. I know that some people might try and play the system, have a dead one, but for the most part, people are going to be good about it and be like, that's great. But let's jump back to Hood Uber, because you guys, this is crazy. And first of all, this story, I had heard the term before. I already knew it was going on. I didn't know it was so much on just mainly on Facebook. But of course, just like illegal accounts and everything else, you want to get the crazy stuff now. It seems like the new crazy stuff website is Facebook, not Craigslist. I used to never think of Facebook as a Craigslist. Now it is. I mean, straight up.
That's what it's become.
Yeah, it's. I mean, like literally, everything you're dealing with is probably illegal on Facebook.
Well, if somebody wants to rent an account, where do you go? You go to Facebook. You don't go to Craigslist. It's definitely become a different enterprise.
Echo. Sue, are you hearing an echo? I'm not hearing it, but I'm gonna keep moving on. So Hood Uber. So this was first of all, this is in right on the border of Texas and Mexico, San Antonio. Of all places that would seem extra sketchy to do this. But what Hood Uber is they tell, so you get on here and you're negotiating rides on Facebook, but unlike poaching a customer, you have no idea. Maybe I am hearing that a little. What is that? You have no idea what this person is. Not that you fully know somebody when you poach them from an Uber or Lyft ride, but you have an idea. That's why you're poaching them. Like, okay, I get this. You get a vibe. On this one, it's just a crapshoot. You have no idea what you're doing. And they were referring to it as unregulated. And of course it is. What we are talking about would be unregulated too, unless you have it set up properly.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, and even just everybody that's doing rideshare, I mean, as a driver, there's risks that a lot of people take that they don't even realize, whether, it goes down to even having a rideshare endorsement on your insurance policy to cover the gaps when you're not, in a ride. So this is a big thing that's obviously passionate to me about safety and security with the rideshare industry. And again, I have my opinion, you have your opinion, and we hear a lot on social media. But yeah, this Hood Uber thing is a whole new monster right there, man.
I know. It reminds me of. So we have a friend, Tremaine Hayho. He owns Hayho Studios, and he made a movie. He made a movie called Rideshare. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
No.
He made the movie for about $80,000. He's made many movies, independent. He's been on the podcast a few times, and he made this movie Rideshare. And in there, the app that because he couldn't use Uber or Lyft, he'd get sued. The app that he made for the movie was called Hitch. And oddly enough, there used to be an app called Hitch. That app was basically hitchhiking through an app. I'm going from Denver to Albuquerque.
Yeah.
And then somebody would reply, me too. Hey, jump in with me.
Right.
I mean, to me, it just reminded me kind of not to go. It reminded me of like truck stops and lot lizards. I don't know.
Right.
And if you don't know what that reference is, good.
What kind of services are we talking about now, Steve? I thought we were talking about rideshare.
Right. Yeah. No, it just reminded me of that though. Like that's the kind of risk you're running here. And that person also got shot. So the story the only reason we're referencing is because somebody got shot doing it. Now, again, rideshare, it happens too, but I don't know. I find it weird that there's an actual term for it. It just reminds me of last year's illegal accounts that you could buy through Facebook that are kind of gone away. They're still there, whatever. But now this is the thing. Oh, Uber and Lyft are pricey. I'm just going to go to Hood Uber.
Right. I'm going
you mean Facebook? You're going to go to Facebook and connect with somebody you don't know that says that they'll do it for $1. To me, it sounds like you're asking for trouble. But okay, before we move into this tip theft thing,
one last real quick point about this Hood Uber thing, and obviously the majority of times it's sometimes it's going to be a cash transaction. I'd really be curious in this case that happened. Was it a cash? Because it said he refused to pay. Well, we refused to cash app him or whatever. Clearly. This illustrates the point and the danger of
shot him
cash transactions.
Like they had a dispute over the fact he wasn't going to pay him for the ride. That's why the shooting happened.
Yep.
I don't know how. So again, I mean, first of all, I don't want to give. I think I already have ideas. I'll put them out there just to prove I have them. But like, people shouldn't be doing this anyway. But like, if you're doing this, first of all, don't. But like, why wouldn't you say, okay, you can't make them pay up front because they'd be like, you'll never come. You're just scamming me. But if you pulled up, why not just leave the door locked and say, okay, cat, Venmo me.
Right.
In your settings, you might have an echo cancellation.
Am I still echoing?
It went away. No, it's back. No, it's not. Maybe. Yeah, I think it's good though. So I don't know. No, it is there. Is that? I better check my settings before I'm accusing Shawn here.
Hang on, I'm going over to my set. I do have echo cancellation turned on.
Oh wait. It's actually my. See, that's called transparency, guys. I've admitted to my wrongdoing. That should be better. Is that better? I feel like I still hear
Steve the echo. Okay.
So Shawn, I want you, because I want this story to be as brief as possible. I just found it funny that this Kiefer Sutherland thing.
Man, I love the Kiefer Sutherland thing.
Like I just don't.
I mean, I don't love the incident that happened, but it is so Kiefer, unfortunately.
Right? I mean, first of all, this Uber driver didn't speak English real well, and it's like complete Jack Bauer.
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah. Who's this guy to screw with Jack Bauer? You know?
I don't know.
I don't know, man. You know, I mean, we all know about the history of Kiefer and his alcohol challenges that he's had, and you know, God bless him. Hopefully, you know, he gets over that or has overcome it. And maybe it's something we don't know the whole story. So, but it certainly screamed Kiefer Sutherland at, you know, either that or Charlie Sheen at the you know, at the moment you heard something going south and somebody getting threatened to get killed.
I got to tell you, I'm such a big fan of the Charlie Sheen thing. Like, I followed the Tiger Blood thing like you wouldn't believe. I was
saying, did you get a Tiger Blood tattoo, man?
No, but I remember his roast. And for those that haven't seen it,
winning.
Go find the roast.
Yeah.
I have never, I mean, we all know, some people don't understand this. Maybe it's generational. John Lovitz is one of the funniest people on earth.
Yeah.
When he's let to be him, he unloaded on Charlie, and he's a good friend of his, but that had to be one of the funniest things I've ever seen. You know, how much, you know, or what was it? I'm still hearing the echo. Man, I don't know what's going on here. How much cocaine could Charlie Sheen do? Enough to kill 2.5 men. Yeah, I'm still hearing it. I don't know what I'm doing here.
Probably we're still in echo land.
Yeah, but it should. It just bounces back and forth sometimes. Anyway, we'll keep moving. It seems like it's me though, and it shouldn't be.
It's his magnetic personality causing reverb, folks. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know what. Maybe I need to move the mic back a little. I don't know what's crossing paths here that isn't.
I'm not
like,
hearing it on my end, so
good. That's awesome.
it
Anybody
might
else
be
hearing
coming
it?
from the YouTube world.
I think the echo is because Shawn doesn't have headphones on. Shouldn't be. That's why
we never have had that problem before.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's gone now. It was more of like a digi static. I don't even know how to describe it. But so
you know what? Let me do one thing, because I did move my cell phone onto the screen so I could see the chat on YouTube. Since I'm in StreamYard, I don't see the chat. So let me see if that helps it go away. And I did turn my volume all the way down, but maybe it was still getting a little bit of that.
Sue's just blaming me. It's on Steve's side.
Bear with me, guys. I'm new to all this.
Hey man, it's cool. By the way, we're back, you know.
I got my first cell phone 2 weeks ago, and I bought this off of Wish and now Timo, I guess it's called. And
but this is driving me nuts. This again, another New York problem. You know, and more tip theft, but this time it's different. If you guys were following this, the regulators, this is for New York City. So city regulators accused Uber and Doordash of deliberately altering their app interface to discourage customers from tipping food delivery workers, a move that cost employees more than $550 million over the last 2 years. So how did they come up with this number? So they did the average tip for the city that was between the two platforms was $2.17 before. Yeah, something's happening. Yeah. Before the my God, it went away and now it's back. It is killing me. Reposition my mic. My mic's good, man.
I think that's all. I think maybe that chat was delayed. I don't know.
Yeah, usually when that happens, it's just another tab open, but you said that's not the case. So, but anyway, 217 went down to 76 per delivery after the companies had made their changes to the apps. The report found both companies also issued messages to their customers in the city telling them the prices for their orders were set by an algorithm using personal data. You're using their personal data. They said that in the app.
Right.
I'm actually shocked. I'm used to the in-app stuff about like, you know, like, okay, well, we're going to, you know, you're going to have to pay this fee because the city imposed it on us. Okay.
Right.
I know they use these tactics, but to say this,
yeah, well, but to put the tip button after the transaction's completed, I mean, that's that's a big thing. A lot of people argue with why, rideshare, because they forget about it, and then there's probably a lot of well-intended people that plan on tipping, but it's like me. I want my food. I'm freaking hungry. Whatever. I make my transaction, and I'm gonna go yell and get the kids ready. Say, get your butts down here. Dinner's on its way, or something like that. We're so distracted and busy on our lives that if you don't carpe diem, you're going to lose it. And so was it done maliciously? I don't know, but apparently the state of New York thinks so. And anybody that's interested in the report, on my X account under the same handle, you can get a direct link to the report that New York posted on that.
Yeah, I mean, here's my thing. They're actually saying it. I mean, they're saying that it's because of. I mean, this story almost was even hard for me to bring up because you guys know me. I don't get political. It focuses on a lot of politicians that I am not even though I don't get political, I'll say this because this is okay to say. Like, I don't give a shit, because a lot of these political people I'm not on board with. So it's echoing again. It just comes and goes, man. I don't know what it's doing. Stupid thing. So the findings. You haven't. Maybe try. Let's try this. While I finish out this article, then we'll talk about it. Mute your mic and let's just see if it's still doing it. It's me. Okay. So
are they saying it's still? I haven't seen any new chats saying that it's still
it's
echoing.
just in my ear, at least. I don't know. It was like a digi-static repeat of me. And so the findings. This is from the new mayor of New York. I won't even give him a name recognition. We all know who he is. And the last federal Biden administration, and it gets very messy with the PRO Act that they tried to push. So this is all like just jibber jabber until you get to the point of Doordash and Uber Eats sued the city over a law that has required the apps to change their interface in order to allow customers the chance to set tips for deliveries for drivers before checkout. Part of the minimum wage law in New York, the apps decided that until the person had delivered the food, you couldn't tip a delivery driver. That's why these earnings went down that's why the earning average went from 217 to 76 on tips, which they equated to 550 million over 2 years.
Right. That's okay. That makes sense how they equated it, because I was kind of curious, how did they end up equating that? So
yeah, they just did it on the amount of rides, and
right.
they were, and they were like, okay, well, or the amount of deliveries, and they were like, if the average went from this to this,
right,
this is the difference, and that's how much. So what else was I going for here? So now this is oh my God, this is killing me. I'm going to try it without headphones here. I'm going headphoneless. I just can't do it. Let me try. All right. Can I still hear? Can you?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay,
we're good.
We're good. Maybe it was just something with my headphones and the connection. Nope, it's still doing it. Damn it.
No.
All right, I'm turning my headphones. It's the delay that I'm so sorry, guys, because normally this is something that. All right, now you guys might hear me. Things aren't going to be the same sound. I don't need this. Let's just see if that fixes things. Okay, so far so good. But so now it's another thing about this law. And this is why I always say these laws about minimum wage and this, that, and the other, you can't include a dollar amount on them, guys. You can't, because it's floor meets ceiling. And now all this crap too. Another lawsuit. I mean, I know that some of I know that some people think these lawsuits don't matter too much, but they do. And it's not the term, at least I'm seeing it a lot less, but the term drop in the bucket, it doesn't even float with me anymore, because these aren't, I don't even care if it's only 6 million or 10 million. They're not drops in the bucket. These companies have now gone public. They now have, they barely reached a profit. It's on the backs of the workers. It's on the backs of the customers. They're even treating their restaurant partners wrong. And that was to barely make a profit. So now it's expected that the profit keeps growing, and it can't. But yeah, I mean, this is going to be a whole other thing. And DoorDash and Uber want to fight it. They don't want people to be able to, in New York City, they can't do what they can do in Colorado or wherever you live, which is how it should be. This is an upfront tip game. I come from the service industry, and it's not an upfront tip game. This took me a while to get used to that, but this is an upfront tip.
Right.
I mean, the customers are starting to become more aware, but they don't need to be fully aware of the fact that we take our rides based on what we're shown. If they knew that, I mean, we are doing better about informing them, but if they knew that we were taking $2 orders or $3 rides, they would understand a lot more why these upfront tips matter. And then for the platform to remove it just proves my point about floor meets ceiling. They're trying to make it so that no more, you know?
Well, you know, when you go into a restaurant, you're going to a sit down restaurant. Let's just go to one of the oldest, most basic, you know, customary things in the United States for tipping. You have in your mind what you're already, before you pay for your food, you know, when you order, when you go in there, what that tip amount is going to be. So you've already established a tip standard before you've even seen that waitress or waiter, you know, or whatever, or even received your food. You've already had that imprinted in your mind. So how is that any different than the rideshare or the food delivery service? It isn't. It's just that it just feels different because it's done when the transaction is done at the end.
Right. Right. But also, I can tell you, even as a rare user of Uber Eats, never tried DoorDash as the customer, but even as a rare user of Uber Eats, I can tell you that I usually never, once the food's here, I don't go back in the app.
Right.
And I'm even somebody who understands it.
Right.
Like, so people who don't in New York, they're just going to be thinking, man, that was expensive. Let's eat. And they're going to shut the app.
Right.
They're not going to go after dinner, you know what, let's tip that guy.
Right. Man, that Kung Pao chicken was really good. I'm going to give that driver another $5.
Right. There's nothing about even if the food's great, there's nothing that's going to, I mean, maybe there's a small percentage, but people aren't going to reopen the app to go, oh, dude, let's tip that driver.
And particularly since the majority of that is leave at door anyway, because COVID set that precedence. They just leave me alone. I'll get my food. We can be secret, you know, boom, boom.
Yeah. Hey, Rick, I'm just real quickly saying what's up to, I saw a couple people come in. And I saw Jersey come in. What's up, Jersey? And yeah, okay. Just catching up, you guys. Just getting back in the saddle after the new year. It's been a minute. It's been a month since we did the last roundtable. So yeah, I don't know what this whole thing is. I gotta be honest with you. I have major concerns that in this article that is correct in its assessment and the fact that they're going to sue them. Anybody in power would have done it. But the names mentioned in this article are the DCWP, Andrew Cuomo, Mondani.
I thought you weren't mentioning.
I know, but now I kind of need to. Like, these are the people who are going to sue the company. Now, the reason I guess I thought I have to say it is because these people are all DoorDash and Uber Eats are huge contributors to every person I just named.
Right.
Maybe not the new mayor. Maybe not. If it is, that would be completely scandalous because it goes against everything. He's against big business. So, but everybody else completely big. They're sponsored by these people. That also, to me, I guess the point why I needed to say it, that speaks volumes because that's kind of going to be a new thing in 2016. You see a lot more people who have campaign funding by these companies still having to choose to finally go after them. They're not going to be able to go. I guess what I'm saying is the favors are done. Uber, DoorDash, the favors are over with your politicians.
So So why do you think that they all of a sudden, is it because of Uber and the lawsuit that they had, that this is a retaliatory thing against them? Why do you think, what's in it for them? I mean, because we know a politician doesn't get involved with anything unless there's something in it for them.
Right. Yeah. So now it's the money. I mean, think about it this way. So the Tony Shu post, right? Or the AI generated, I don't even like talking about this anymore, but the AI generated thing that went out exposing Doordash to some things, which we all know those are probably all true. We could add 100 more. But the fact is, it was still fake. But nonetheless, 68 million people saw that post. There's 150 million working people in the United States. So half of the people in the United States saw that post. 5.5 or 5.1 million on Twitter saw Tony's post, which he shouldn't have made. Should have let the team do it. But so it's not the same place as it was a year, 2 years, or even a year ago. This many people weren't aware of the scumbaggery going on. I mean, like now people look, even elected officials, of course, elected officials use these apps. Now they're seeing these stories and they're probably thinking things like, wait, I haven't been checking my tab. Am I paying more on the items on top of the service? And if they're going back in there, it's not like they're going to change their position because they're realizing, hey, you're ripping me off. But they are going to have their aides running metrics to see where the constituents are. Do enough constituents know about this that they're not going to reelect me? Yeah. Okay, well, then we need to not be on the side of these companies anymore. Because number one rule in politics is you got to get reelected. Next one is you need to be a scumbag and take tons of dirty money. But the first one is the most important. You need to, you have your constituents, you need to secure the vote always for the next vote unless you're done.
Right. Yeah, they're always running. They're always running for the next election cycle. But that's a great thing, I think, because in years past they haven't had those numbers. Like, it's been like, no, we still get more from Uber and DoorDash than to listen to the 10% that are mad. Now they recognize it as a 30-40% group of their population and business owners. Right.
Like we're seeing with the big red F thing. You know what I mean? Like, as we've joked about Boulder has a way of making sure you know what's up. So Dave Cleary let Boulder know these scumbags, and I know him. That's probably the word he might have even used at a city meeting. He might have said these scumbag apps have been robbing the drivers, the customers, and us businesses that support this town for years.
Yeah.
And being the town that Boulder is, again, guys, I don't know. There's not many. The towns I can compare, and I don't even think they're as hardcore as Boulder. Ann Arbor, Michigan is close. And the only other one that I really know that's like that far where it's really weird how the Banana Republic politics are is Eugene, Oregon. For some reason, those three towns, but Boulder's like over the top. Boulder can stop a corporation from anything they want. No other city can do that.
Yeah.
Like, they just
and
block
a big corporate.
It's done.
Yep.
So, yeah, I find it interesting. I find it interesting that constantly, I mean, like we just learned today that the metrics, if you guys don't know, the acceptance rate was removed on Walmart. You know, there we go. I saw it as a win. I had most people I know saw it as a win. I know a couple people are concerned about a tier system with Walmart that's coming or something, but again, acceptance rate has to go first. Has to. Thanks.
So,
Derek's a local too. And Steve ain't lying. Boulder's a nightmare for retailers.
hey, does any of I got a quick off the wall question from any of our East Coast people or even Michigan people. Does Aldi, do they have food delivery Do they do it like through Uber or anything like that? No, the reason I'm curious is because Aldi's announced they're going to be coming into Colorado, which is, going to change the whole. It'll hopefully make some of our groceries a little more affordable. And not trying to make this a Colorado centric conversation because we got people all over.
Aldi, I know
But
a
I'm
lot
kind of
of
curious.
these
I'm kind of
people who
curious
do
about
Aldi.
that.
Yeah.
And what is that going to do for the delivery world?
I know a lot of people who work Instacart, other apps, they all go to Aldi. So the Aldi works with all the apps.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm just kind of curious about that because that's gonna really change the dynamics of things a whole lot out here, and it might increase the amount of delivery because somebody can get get groceries a little more affordable, and
but I think you're right. It will increase the cost of it to the customer. Do you think the drivers will get any of the extra?
Right.
I'm just being honest. Yes, the absolutely the apps will charge more.
All right. So Sue says, yeah, Uber, DoorDash, and Instacart use Aldi.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know how much better you do on an Aldi run. I don't know if because I don't think people save. I mean, I did that article on Instacart this week where there was a 75% of people ordering from an area to the same store at the same time. 75% were seeing different prices on the items.
Right, different pricing. Yeah.
I mean, and the fact that the variance was 19%, like you could live next door to me. We're both ordering the same items on Instacart the same day from the same store at the same time. And Shawn might pay 19% less on the items.
Right. Than you are.
No sense at all. None.
No, I mean, that's completely criminal. I mean, you are getting, I'm paying less and you're paying more. Why are you getting price gouged? And that's, is it because you need, something because you also have a prescription being picked up there too that you need, and they know you need that, so then you're going to go ahead and pay more for your groceries? I mean, we don't understand. We know the algorithms are manipulate based on certain conditions, but is it because of some kind of either a medical bias, a gender bias, a racial bias? Probably the answer is yes to all of them.
Yeah. No, in fact, you guys, I'm going to pull a Jeff here. Get your own clients. I mean, I'm going to use Dumpling as the example. Dumpling is an app. I did one yesterday. I don't get to do it as often as I want because, as I've explained to you guys, you have to land your own clients with Dumpling. People I've sent to Dumpling are like, dude, where are all the orders? I'm like, go get customers. Did you set your prices? Did you set the zones you work in? With Dumpling, somebody can say, hey, do you shop at that butcher shop? And I can see that it's not on any apps. I can say, no, I do. And I just add it because I have to provide the receipts. I have to give it to them. Like if you like King Supers here in Colorado, we have digital discount bonuses, gas points, all this. I type in my customer's phone number. So they're getting exactly as if they had gone in themselves. They're getting their gas points, everything, and they're not getting ripped off.
Right.
So I don't know. To me, it seems like outright theft. Because here's how I summarized all of this was that charge what you want on the services, but you can't upcharge the items. You're providing a service. You're not selling the item. I use those words loosely, that you're even performing a service, because really all you're doing is putting an order together with a driver. You're nothing more than a switch. But when you get into it happens in the restaurants too. When you get into the fact that they do these upcharges on menu items, I'm just like, of course the businesses are pissed. Of course volume's down.
Yeah, but I've seen where it's like a 20-30% difference. Cause I like going Uber Eats, be lazy sometime. Like, I'm going to order, I want some Culver's, which is, a couple of miles from me. And then all of a sudden I look on the app, I'm like, hell no, I'm going to go get off my lazy ass and go drive down there because it's like 25% more.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's not without the delivery fee or anything else like that. So, why should they be allowed to do that? It's criminal. I'm with you, Steve.
Yeah, 100%. So as we get out of here tonight, let's slam on WAYMO, and you guys don't go nowhere because this is just I'm over this crap. I hope one of the things in this new year, I sure hope you guys need a bumper sticker or a t-shirt.
Anyway.
But I mean, the first story is bad enough. A passenger bailed from his WAYMO robo-taxi as the vehicle drove dangerously close to oncoming rail cars. So it pulled up to a stop, and he actually got out of the car. I'm glad to know WAYMO car doors are unlocked. It now makes me wonder if when it's moving, they're unlocked too. Because to anybody looking for a great lawsuit, just jump out while it's moving. There you go.
Right. And I think everybody's had a drunk in their car at some point in time that they're worried was trying to do that.
I mean, literally, I'm reading this stuff and I'm going, dude, you got to be kidding me. Like, these are the kind of things where, why is this treated like this? If somebody jumps out of an Uber, it gets more press. And that's just right. With a human driver. Like, okay, well, why? This should be a bigger deal. Like this is exactly what we're talking about. They don't work. No. You're taking people around in them and they don't work. And even
and that's the thing is they're still being trained by humans.
An issue. The safety driver seems to be sleeping. I don't know why. I now question if there's even safety drivers or if they're meeting their requirement of like each state that has its own. Like, okay, California, you could each operator, I can't remember what the exact term is for that position, but the W-2 person can monitor 2 cars at a time. In some states, it might be 4. But it makes me wonder, do you just have one person in there monitoring 50 cars?
Oh, I absolutely think that's the case. Because, I mean, and then you can look at, okay, there's always the debate about how well can humans multitask. And, when you're doing critical thinking skills times 50, it's just, you can't monitor it successfully. I mean, that's distracted driving at its finest.
Yeah. I mean, and these WAYMO incidents aren't, I know that when I brought up the cat, a lot of people were like, okay. Like, I mean, it wasn't like they were hating on cats, but they were like, well, things happen. That cat situation in San Francisco was a big deal. It was a big deal because that's where children play and stuff too. So the point that they made out of all that, they made this like thing for it because of the intersection. And they were saying how it could have been easily a kid, but it was a famous cat for the area. It just, they never do anything right. They don't slow down. They evade police. All the things that you would think, this is the generic out of the box stuff that must work, or else we can't even let you even operate without passengers.
San Antonio is reporting that even after WAYMO did their upgrade for the issue with the bus stops, that they're still blowing through the bus signals at the school buses. So when is enough enough? I mean, there's so much unregulation going on with it, and it's just going to be one bad accident, and maybe finally they'll pull back and go, hold on, are we a little premature with doing this?
I've seen them too. I don't know if you saw my short. I think it's still up on here. It shouldn't be too far back in my shorts if you look. But I pull up to the WAYMO. I come around. I'm trying to come around it hard. I'm video from behind. And I finally get up next to it. I see the safety driver, and he's kind of like, hey. And I'm like, you work for a company that sucks. He's like, all right. See you later.
So WAYMO's mapping in Commerce City. I guess that extends beyond Denver now, huh?
I think they're I have not yet seen a WAYMO downtown.
Right.
I think this initial 6-month period that they have to do in every city, and then they have to apply to see if they can get the up to 10 permit, 10 WAYMOs or whatever.
Correct. Yep.
But right now they're just doing the mapping. I think they're afraid to go downtown.
They should be.
Exactly. Because clearly they won't get their approval if they have any incident at all.
Right.
Well, I mean, it depends on the state. Maybe under our mayor, yeah. But
I was going to say, but they've got they're okay mayor-wise, but governor-wise, they've got a pretty limited amount of time to get this pulled off, and that's my opinion why they decided to launch in the Colorado market right now. I mean, Polis is a tech guy. That's how he's made all this. That's how he's made all this money, millions of dollars, and he's not going to do anything to step over big tech or to step on big tech. I should say he'll step around them all day long. And so I think that they've got a very small window to work within to be able to get their permitting, do their testing and then get permitted so they can operate, because they don't know what's going to happen in the next legislative turnaround to see who's at the wheel.
Yeah. Like Sue says, I would love this too, because I live right off it and I know it. And I know the state, the condition it's in right now too is just horrible. Derek knows as well. I don't know when the last time you were up here, Shawn, but the roads are just. I was joking with Derek. I was in a live stream, and he's like, "Oh, dude, where all the roads are just destroyed." I'm like, I know it's starting to look like Afghanistan around here. like
Sue wants to see a WAYMO driving down Colfax.
Potholes. And,
I just want to see one stopping on Capitol Hill, and let's see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, every time I see them, they're out like in the industrial parts, like not only Commerce City, but like out on Vasquez and like 90th.
In their safe spaces where they've only got big trucks going around.
And you have a driver in there,
right?
Like, I mean, my point there being, if you're going, well, why don't they go downtown then? And that's a great question, because the driver could take over. The problem is that the software that is used to determine by the city or state if the WAYMOs can stay after the 6-month eval is shared directly from the cars. So they have that analysis. It can't be tampered with, the city. And so they see how many times the driver has to take control. That has a count on it.
Right.
As that count gets higher, it proves to the city how not ready they are.
Right. Which makes sense that if you're in a huge industrial area where it's, the lanes are like, big enough to put six tractor trailers down a, 2-lane road, your air, and there's not a lot of traffic down there, your error rate's going to be, really, really low and, benign statistically. Yeah. So that's a great point.
I mean, but again, I hate seeing them here. I honestly, I said it earlier this week too. I said that I get it now a little more. It's not just the PR of, oh, we're in Denver now. It is literally the PR of a car driving around that says WAYMO autonomous. It's like a moving billboard. But the problem is that in the first 6 months, anybody that drives by one just sees a stupid big block on the top spinning, and then they drive past it going, what is this thing? And they see a driver in there. So right. Like, what is this? This is dumb.
Right.
But again, I like I've said, it's all PR and games. Like, even to them, even though they know they put human lives at risk. I mean, WAYMO bought their way out of having to report things to the DMV because it was proprietary. Listen, all of the autonomous companies, all of them are doing the exact same thing. They're doing one of two things, I should say. They're using cameras or they're using LiDAR.
LiDAR, right.
Most of them are still on LiDAR. But here, the thing is like, none of them are proprietary. They would all claim it, but it's like Uber claiming they're a tech company. They're not. There's nothing proprietary left. Like, nobody's made that advancement. And if anybody does, doesn't matter how you feel about this man, it'll be Musk.
Right.
Musk will make a move that could be proprietary. But at this point, WAYMO has nothing proprietary. So they actually sued the DMV of California that they didn't want to produce their statistics. Now, every one of us is not, we have no way of getting out of that. All of our data is sent for everything we do driving.
Right.
But these vehicles that don't work or work at a 70% efficiency rate that are robots don't have to report. Like, they won that court case. But that leads to this. We all talked about this. I was reading about this today, and I'm just blown away. I read the 3 different articles. And again, here we are. So we know that WAYMO did its whatever it was, its 3rd or 4th recall. It had to do a complete fleet update. And they've had this problem before. So they evade police. They go down dead end roads that really are dead ends. They get stuck. They do all kinds of weird stuff. But the bus thing was a big deal. It was a big, big deal because they had a problem in testing with the buses where they do test not around live people. They said that was all fixed. They sent them out. They were having the issue everywhere. How is it that these Waymos see a yellow bus or a red sign that pops out, flashing lights, and they don't think that's something to be aware of? They go around them.
Right.
Like, I just don't, I mean, that seems like, I'm not a coder for Waymo, but that seems like the easiest part ever. If you see this,
you would think so. I mean, that's a pretty,
yeah,
pretty evident what to do there.
I mean, but again, it's just proof of how much things don't work. And now, so they recall all of these, and they do a complete update to the software package. And Austin school district said Waymo continues to illegally pass its buses following recall. New video obtained by or from Waymo's driverless vehicles have been caught again illegally passing stopped school buses. This is after the update. This is from today in this news. So and now Austin is saying that they need to update it again. Do you need to update it, or do you just need to get it the hell out of Austin?
Well, and that could be because maybe they're, encroaching into too populated areas, going back to your statement about that they've been, and we know, that was originally what they were doing, and they weren't approved to go on highways, and now they're approved to be on highways limited times and such in San Francisco and Phoenix, I think it is.
Yeah. And LA.
LA too? Okay.
Yeah. But I mean, we're talking about $500,000. The other part is we're talking about $500,000 vehicles.
Right.
I mean, in Arizona, they have the some of the Doordash orders are being delivered by Waymo.
I think that was Phoenix where I saw where they were trying to do that.
Yeah, I mean, and Rick just said it too. I mean, like, this is, California and Arizona are not allowed to ticket cars that don't have a driver. So of the 212 that I talked about in that Arizona report, we know that the officers said that the Waymo was at fault 73 of the 212 incidents. So it's not like it's 5 either. 73 of the 212 that were reported with Waymos were the Waymo's fault, but those were all redacted and they weren't written one ticket.
Right. Well, because you can't write a ticket because there's not a driver to issue it to.
Which allows them to then tell investors, we have a perfect driving record.
Right. And, probably when they're doing testing, they probably have some kind of waiver, or something preventing them from getting tickets while they're, doing their mapping or something, even to absolve them from any kind of, anyway, I'm not ready to get onto a serious soapbox about that because that's a huge problem in itself with not having drivers and even the liability with the, you now have a product liability case. When there's an accident, you're not suing a driver and an insurance company. And product liability cases are so hard to win and to litigate and so expensive to litigate. Yeah. That's why they all end up being class action lawsuits.
I think you had sent me one of the first videos I saw on a lawyer doing it on Twitter. Like, this is a while ago. where the lawyer's like, I think it might even be robotic or AI or something, but he's saying like, he's literally like, okay, well now we have a product liability case. He goes, no lawyer is going to take.
Yeah, the one that from Mike Rafey down out of Georgia.
Right.
Yeah,
he's like, no lawyer is going to take that. We are not going to go after the company on their product not working, because that is, the expense would not ever be regained in the monetary.
I used to work in that world, in the big corporate world, and did litigation support. So, and yeah, product liability stuff, we'd pretty much just laugh it off and go, okay, yeah, good luck with that.
So I guess I'm allowed to hook up a remote control to my car, and like literal remote control, like a drone, and just drive it around. Go, hey man, there ain't no driver in it. Screw you.
Might as well, right? You can sit in the back with the passenger and eat some popcorn, have a beer, whatever.
But yeah, Carnifage is in Vegas, and he's talking. Vegas has Zooks. They have WAYMO. I don't even know. They have more too, but Lucid might be there. I even saw this one thing. This tripped me out. There's a thing in Vegas that you have a human operator, like in the old video games where you're sitting down doing a race. Okay, the sit down ones. They're literally in one of those, and you get like somebody wants to rent a car or be done renting their car. They just leave the car, and the person takes control and drives it back.
Okay.
Like virtually, like, again, what I would mention though is like Verizon yesterday. Verizon went down for 17 hours.
Yeah, right.
What happens if one of these go off network?
Well, they'll just stop in the middle of the road, theoretically, and
will they, or will they do what they did in California when the blackout happened? Which was, they just went rogue. They didn't know what the hell to do.
I know some of them, right? Yeah. Again, that's, I think it's time for us all to watch iRobot again and have a wake-up call.
Yeah, I really think this is going to be a year where some people get in there and go, you know what? I don't know how much I want, because people are dumping money into autonomous. And I feel like it's like the gig apps. Investors are finally aware of the gig apps, and they're starting to not invest. Most of the investing on the gig apps are hedging. That's all they're doing.
Right.
But on WAYMO and stuff, they're like, oh, this is the way. No, that's what Uber told the investors when they went public. We will be driverless, and that's how we'll make a profit. So it's just a new lie brought around again 6 years later.
Right.
Like, look at WAYMO. Like, what's the difference between that and what you told us? And they don't work. They don't work.
Right.
I mean, like, on the small scale of how many are out there, look at how many incidents there are. I mean, there's barely out there, and there's damn incidents everywhere.
Zooks just stop in the middle of the road. So what do we do just as human beings? Let's just even take that out as, as our interest, obviously doing rideshare and other gig work. How do we slow this down? I don't think we can, because the world's so fascinated with the technology and everything else. I think we're the exception, the people that are recognizing this issue.
I think I'll just, if they are allowed to drive here, I will order one. I will get in it. I will have 2 Glad hefty bags full of dog poop. I will take a ride down the block, and then I will empty the bags into the back seat.
Oh, right.
And I will get out. Now what?
Right.
I mean, now what, for real?
Right.
Because this is the kind of stuff where I know that's extreme, but if you don't get that, people are going to leave a needle from shooting drugs. People are going to have sex. People are going to do this, that, and the other. And then you're going to have the family in San Francisco touring the city that gets in with their kids.
Right.
And they're
stepping on.
They're not getting cleaned between rides. They're not getting cleaned.
They're stepping on somebody's fentanyl pipe,
Yeah.
In the back seat.
Yeah. Or like I was saying, somebody's dirty syringe. And who knows what that means.
Right, exactly.
I mean,
that was my initial thought, stepping on somebody's heroin needle, but I was trying to be a little more up to date.
Because it will happen. It will happen.
Right, absolutely. I mean, hell, it happens with people that have drivers in their cars.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, like, I just don't know what would happen if I get in with like a 4-pack of 7-Eleven extra large slushies, and I don't have caps on any of them, and I just go like this, oops, and I spill it all over the seat. And then I just throw the carton on the floor, and I'm like, you know what? I want to stop this trip. Get me out.
And then what do? Get out and report that there was a mess in the vehicle, so you don't get charged the cleaning fee.
But there's still a camera, so they'll go back and be like, "You spilled that." Be like, "Yeah, it hit a bump, man. I couldn't hold on to him."
Right. Sorry.
Same thing that happened. I mean, it happens in rideshare. How are they?
Right.
I mean, that happens to us when we do rideshare. Why won't it happen there?
Right. I mean, you get people always trying to sneak food in your car or just blatantly don't give a damn. Like I had somebody this morning, she gets in with her everything bagel, chomping on that thing like she's at the feed trough. And I was just like, man, really? Yeah. All right, block. Never have to deal with you again. Bye-bye.
But I don't know, Shawn, what's one last topic or anything you got before we roll out of here today? And guys, next week I will have this fixed. I don't know what happened, why it switched me over or where the echo was coming from, but
I think actually, Steve, it was because, again, I think it was my phone that was sitting up on my computer, because it was probably causing some feedback from that standpoint, because we've been good ever since I moved my phone. So let's try it again next week with your headphones on. I think we'll be okay.
If you click comments, you can't see the comments.
Let me click it again. It wasn't doing it. It wasn't doing it, but now it's working. Never mind. It wasn't working before, but
hey, Gator, what's up, man? Gator's see, mine is even caught up. I think it's having some issues today too, though, because I'm looking at my phone and the chat's ahead of StreamYard. That should never be the case. So, but it doesn't matter. It's the first one back, and everybody, thank you for joining. And Shawn's gonna, I really hope Shawn starts this podcast, because those of you that remember me when I came to YouTube, I had been doing my podcast for a while. The first things I was bringing to YouTube weren't a lot of the fights that I have now. They were literally safety, and I was surprised like how much of a lot of my content wasn't being watched. And I know, that part I wasn't so surprised about, because maybe people didn't want to watch safety, but I was surprised when I was having conversations how little people cared.
Right.
Like, do you know, are you sure? I don't know. They just didn't have any answers. They didn't know anything. It's just like,
and I think a lot of it is to people.
I'm not blaming them. They had the mentality of, listen, dude, the app allowed me on, so I'm fine.
Right. I think a lot of the apathy isn't that people really truly don't care. It's just that they don't feel anybody's listening or anything's going to change. And so that the apathy develops over time. And, and I think until we get to a place, and that's kind of where I'm looking, to start doing things this year, start from a safety initiative. And then also, besides my role at the co-op, but we've got the legislator in Colorado that she was a freshman legislator that threw out that rideshare safety bill that got vetoed by Polis. I'd say amazingly, but we know it's because he didn't want to make Uber and Lyft mad, because they were going to pull out, and they would have. I guarantee it. But
I'm so glad you just said that, because people have told me when I've said it, they've been like, no, they wouldn't have. And I'm like, you don't live here. Shawn lives here. He knows.
Yeah,
they would have. They were ready to leave. This one was no joke.
Absolutely, they would have.
Yeah,
Yep, they would have just waited for everything to crumble, and to fall on its knees, and then they'd be driving things completely 100% at that point. So I think they probably were hoping it was going to happen that way, frankly.
And I'm not surprised it did. I wasn't a big fan of that, but also had they allowed that, that would have been like the fourth thing that they gave into to these companies this year.
Right.
Transparency, this, like they had already given so much this year. If they had just given on that one, it would have been like, I'll just bend over and you guys do what you want to me.
Yeah. So, so anyway, back to that is that's really, I want to kind of get out there and, start advocating for appropriate safety measures for both passengers and drivers. It's always about the passengers with it. And look, yeah, some really horrible things have happened, and there's been a lot of horrible accusations, and including what the freshman representative, what reportedly happened with her, and we do need to improve this industry. And I am not a fan of regulation, but holy crap, man! Sometimes I find myself going, there has to be a little regulation in this industry.
Listen, I'm not a fan of regulation at all, but it's like a child's report card. When you can't play well together, you're gonna get regulation. Like I'm shocked these companies are surprised that this is gonna be the regulation year, because you know what? You have for years lied to not just the drivers, the customers, the businesses, you've lied to the state. We'll follow this law. We'll do this. And you constantly don't. It's not even close. You just tell them you will and you don't do it. Well, guess what? Like we were talking about earlier, there is a bigger number of people now on the other side that are way more important, because that's what gets people reelected. So now that has to be heard.
Right.
They're aware that scumbaggery is going on. I don't know to what level each individual person is, but some passengers, some people I see doing that, or some of the businesses, people I talk to, it's different than it was years ago. They know. God, I'm so sick of this app. I'll be in a restaurant picking up a Doordash, like, oh, Doordash is always screwing up. And then I know in the back of their head, they're like, and they're taking so much from me. Well, okay, they're also stealing from the customers. They pay the driver. I mean, like, it's about to collapse is how I see it. And I know that a lot of people just don't see that, but the other big deal is the chatbot thing, the like Perplexity, their browser comment. People just aren't like, it's like nobody really thought .coms were going to crash and be over 2000. We were told about it, but nobody thought, no way, dude, it just started. E-commerce, all this. When was the last time you heard e-commerce? Like e-commerce, all this is going to die. And everybody's like, no, it did. Now the same type people who look into that tech stuff are saying the app days are over.
Right.
AI is going to be like even for this stuff.
It's kind of a just looking. Sorry, I got distracted by seeing what Gator's update is on his breakdown at Fort Collins there, but what was I saying? I don't know. I got derailed, so never mind.
Wait, you're just north of me, Wellington, Colorado.
Yeah, but he said earlier he was up in Fort Collins, broken down.
Well, shit. I don't want to. This isn't mean, Gator. I love Gator. He's my homie, but he broke down up in like Montana not long ago, and he was up there for a while. And he's always traveling and doing B2B stuff, long hauls and stuff. But Gator, text me if you need anything. I don't know if you're in a gym or whatever. See if I can help you out or something. But if you're that close, I don't know what's up. But yeah, Shawn and I will be back next week. Shawn's here for 2 weeks. Also next week, Gig Geezer's joining me for a last mile on Wednesday. And I don't even know if I want him to tell you how much he earned last year. Geezer works his ass off. He has a box truck, a Sprinter van. He has a pickup, and he works these apps. But guys, he crushed it last year. So I don't even know if I don't even know if I saw the number. It blew my mind. And I know Geezer's one of those people that there's a lot of hopium channels, but Geezer doesn't lie.
Yeah.
His numbers are his numbers, and they're real. But it blew my mind. But we'll be back here next week, guys. I wanted to, that's a wrap for the week. We're back. This has been a month. I think that's a little of my offness too, and StreamYard, doing StreamYard things. But thanks to Shawn for joining us. Thanks to all of you for joining us. Thanks
Thank
to the
you guys for putting up with me for a while.
Oh no, this is gonna be a fun 3 weeks, man. But until next week,
I look forward to it.
Be safe, hustle hard, and earn smart, y'all.